So your boy Robert Francis Sommelier is back at it.
I'm going to make sure that now 11 weeks since we lost 19 kids and their 2 teachers shot to death with a weapon originally designed for use in combat, legally purchased by an 18-year-old who did not try to obtain one when he was 16 or 17, but followed the law that's on the books, ladies and gentlemen, that says that you can buy not one, you can buy 2 or more if you want to, AR-15s, hundreds of rounds of ammunition, and take that weapon that was originally designed for use on the battlefields in Vietnam to penetrate an enemy soldier's helmet at 500 feet and knock him down dead up against kids at 5 feet. It may be funny to you, motherfucker, but it's not funny to me, okay?
What is with Beto and these juvenile outbursts? It's like he doesn't have any emotional control. The person laughing wasn't laughing at the thought of dead kids. They were laughing at your goofy, overly dramatic depiction of stating the obvious of what an AR-15 can do. It's like me getting up on stage and screaming and yelling about how wet water is. The AR-15 is a gun. Guns shoot bullets. Bullets destroy what they hit. That's what guns are designed to do. If they didn't do these things, they'd be useless for self-protection. What I find so ironic is that this is the same man who in 1998 was speeding down the highway while drunk and crashed into a truck and then allegedly tried to leave the scene. Yet I've never heard Beto talk about banning cars considering the number of people who are killed by drunk drivers every year. I don't hear Beto talking about how a car, when driven by a drunk person, can travel over 100 miles an hour out to 500 yards and crash into another person and kill them. He doesn't because it's obvious. And honestly, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter because whether he used an AR-15 or a dart gun, he killed kids. The thing that bothers me most about Beto is that he is so incredibly disingenuous. The Uvalde shooting is nothing more than a talking point for him to get votes from people who think the government will keep them safe. Beto is a used car salesman in a clip-on tie. One minute he wants to confiscate AR-15s, then the next minute he doesn't want to confiscate AR-15s, and then the next minute he wants to confiscate them all over again. He doesn't really care. He just wants power, and he'll say and do anything to anyone in order to get it. Another reason why I believe he really doesn't care is because he's showing more contempt for the object used than he is for the person who actually did the killing. He points out the fact that the shooter bought the gun once he turned 18 and not 16 or 17. Like he only did the shooting because he could only buy an AR-15 when he turned 18. Yet, since 1999, 7 in 10 school shootings have been carried out by people under the age of 18 when counting cases where the shooter's age was recorded. The median age of school shooters is 16. This means that if you increase the age to buy an AR-15 to 21, 70% of school shootings would still happen. And that's assuming all the shootings that were committed by 18-year-olds were with an AR-15, or that they wouldn't just use a different weapon. So the percentage is probably a lot higher. And I don't want to hear anyone talking about, but the AR-15 makes the casualties so much higher. If that's the case, why is the deadliest school shooting in American history the shooting that took place at Virginia Tech where the shooter used 2 handguns? There are a ton of 18-year-olds who buy guns and don't shoot up schools. It's not legal to shoot up a school, but he still did. So what does him legally buying an AR-15 at the age of 18 have to do with anything? Like I said, it's a political talking point to shock and awe people who don't know these facts. Also keep in mind that this clown is using a school shooting where the government failed to keep people safe to justify giving more power to that same government under the guise of, we'll keep you safe. And these people cheer for it. Beto is a politician, nothing more, nothing less. He'll say whatever he needs to say to get what he wants. The problem is he's not good at it, so he just ends up embarrassing himself, at least to the people who can see it for what it is. Now here's the thing, Beto was running to be the governor of Texas. And right now, there are a lot of people moving from places like California and New York to Texas. We do not want Beto as our governor. Do not move from these places where Beto would actually probably win and bring those same politics to Texas, which completely baffles me sometimes how people still do this. You vote exactly the same way you voted from the place you left because the policies there were shit. Don't bring shit policies to the place that you moved to because the policies weren't shit. Because all you're going to end up doing is bringing that shit here. We don't want that shit. And yes, AR-15s are protected by the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It didn't say only handguns, it said arms. You know, we talk a lot about empowerment in this country, except for when it comes to the Second Amendment. However, I can't think of anything more empowering than having the most effective tool to protect you and your family. So help me spread this message by liking and sharing this video with everyone you know. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, because the Second Amendment, when it said militia, it wasn't talking about the government. It was talking about you. Also, if you want to know where to find the I'm the Militia shirt and merchandise, click the I'm the Militia link in the description section of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, make sure you hit that bell symbol.